There's a sentence, just one. It isn't a mantra. It's not a therapy technique. It's not even something most therapists are trained to say. But once she heard it, her nervous system shifted. Her trauma, it didn't disappear, but it rewired. Sounds impossible? History says otherwise. In 1953, a young boy in Czechoslovakia was institutionalized for violent behavior. He'd been abused, neglected, and starved. Doctors called him hopeless. But a janitor, not a doctor, said one sentence to him every day. Today, that boy's brain is in a glass case in the Prague Neuropsychiatric Museum, labeled the most unlikely recovery in Eastern Europe. This is not fiction. And that sentence, it's something you need to hear. Because if you've been stuck in the loop of panic, shutdown, numbness, sabotage, that sentence might be the key you never knew you lost. Trauma doesn't break you. It reprograms you. Most people think trauma is the memory of a terrible event. But here's the hidden truth. Trauma is the incomplete act of survival. You didn't get to scream. You couldn't fight. You couldn't run. Your body wanted to act, but you froze. And in that freeze, your brain encoded one dangerous lie. This is just how life is. Neurologically, trauma locks your nervous system into a feedback loop. The amygdala becomes hyperactive. The prefrontal cortex goes offline, and your hippocampus, your memory center, fragments reality. But it gets worse. In a 2016 study buried in the footnotes of the Journal of Neuropsychopharmacology, researchers found that severely traumatized brains experience time non-linearly. That means your body is reliving the trauma as if it's still happening, even 10, 20, 30 years later. It's not in your head. It's in your nervous system. Back to that boy in 1953. His name? Pavel Krau. He was 8 years old when he was taken from his home. He'd watched his father hang himself. His mother disappeared. In the asylum, he was nonverbal, aggressive, completely dissociated. But a janitor named Milan did something strange. Every morning, as he swept the floor, he would stop, look Pavel in the eye, and say, "It wasn't your fault, but it's your life now." That's it. No therapy, no analysis, just human truth. On day 43, Pavel blinked and said, "My name is still mine." By year's end, Pavel was reading poetry. Decades later, neuroimaging of Pavel's brain showed adaptive restructuring in the anterior cingulate cortex, a region involved in emotion regulation and decision-making without formal intervention. What caused it? Milan's sentence had done something science hadn't understood yet. Here's what modern neuroscience now tells us. Your nervous system is not self-contained. It's social. Co-regulation is a phenomenon where one human's regulated nervous system can calm another's. In 2021, researchers in Japan ran an obscure experiment using synchronized fMRI scanners on pairs of strangers. When one subject was in distress and the other simply said, "I see you, I'm here," their brainwaves began to synchronize. Heart rates aligned. Cortisol dropped. This has a name, limbic resonance. The sentence, "It wasn't your fault, but it's your life now," doesn't just carry logic. It carries limbic data. It tells your brain, you're not crazy, you're not broken, you're not alone, and you still have agency. That's where healing begins. In 2004, a man named Isiaku told the UN tribunal in Rwanda that he didn't remember the genocide until one night, a stranger said to him, "What they did was real, but what you do next is yours." That sentence triggered a memory cascade. He cried for 36 hours. Then he began to speak. Harvard researchers studying post-genocide trauma call this narrative unlocking. Turns out, trauma isn't just neurological. It's also narrative dependent. When someone gives you language that acknowledges your pain without reducing your power, the brain starts to reorganize. That's the secret sauce. The sentence isn't magic. It's permission. Here's where it gets even stranger. In 2018, a group of trauma researchers in Switzerland found that a single emotionally resonant sentence can increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, by up to 17% in trauma patients. That means more neuroplasticity. more ability to form new patterns. But only when two things are present: safety, recognition. That's why just thinking positive doesn't work. That's why repeating mantras can backfire. If your nervous system doesn't believe you're safe, it won't change. But one human, one sentence, one moment of real resonance, it can crack the shell. So, what do you do with this? Start here. Say it. It wasn't your fault, but it's your life now. Then add your name. It wasn't your fault. Name. But it's your life now. Speak it to your younger self. Speak it in the mirror. Speak it to someone else who needs it. Your brain won't believe it at first. That's okay. But say it in safety, with breath, with presence, with warmth. You are not reprogramming yourself. You are reclaiming yourself. There's a reason they call trauma the great thief. It steals your sense of self, your time, your reality. But there's a sentence, a compass, a quiet light. It wasn't your fault, but it's your life now. In that sentence is grief, and power, and rebirth, and maybe, just maybe, it's the one thing your nervous system has been waiting for.